today's video, I'm going to teach you how to build a stronger plank that's also entirely pain-free. Now, if you've been trying to do plank and it's bothering your wrists or bothering your forearms, if you make a few of these fixes, it's really going to help. Honestly, the number one issue with planks is that we just kind of hop into the movement and we expect it just to totally work fine, completely ignoring the fact that we spend 5, 6, 7 hours a day at the computer, and then like another 3.5, 4 hours a night on a device of some sort. So the first thing you want to do before playing around with planks is to really open up through your chest. So I've shared a variation like this a couple of times. This is the Yoga Tune-Up Gorgeous ball, but my most favorite way to do this is to have the ball underneath your upper back, just like so. Right? This is going to give me a little bit of extension, which is, again, the opposite of what happens at my desk, right? Boom, 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 extension here. And then you can do a number of things here. So if you are following along, make sure you drop down and give this a try because it feels so good. And if you don't have an inflated ball, you can use a rolled up towel in this exact same location. Now, another thing you can do once you're here is to keep your arms overhead. The ball, again, is right there underneath, kind of like your shoulder blades, but a little bit lower. And then take a big breath in and full breath out. Trying to get every last drop of breath out of your body. And then again, big breath in and full breath out. All the breath out of your body. And one more time, big breath in, big breath out. And on that last one, hopefully what you feel is a little bit more release for your shoulders. So when it comes to your shoulders, your core muscles and breathing muscles are all super closely related. So if we're not also talking to the breathing muscles, then you're missing a key component. Right? It's not just stretching, it's not just body work, but it's when you can tie body work, the nervous system, breathing, and movement all in together that you're really able to create lasting change without pain in your planks or shoulder injuries or things of that nature. Okay, so how to work on your strongest and most pain-free plank ever is actually to do a variation of the plank on the forearms. So a forearm plank, I suppose one could call it, but with a little bit of a fix. So hopefully you can see this here. Instead of letting your shoulder blades collapse into one another, I want you to actively push down into the floor so that your shoulder blades are as far apart from one another as they can. And hopefully you can see that and maybe even feel that difference for yourself. And another thing you can do here is just practice between those two actions. Right? So I let my shoulder blades kind of scrunch together, and then I do the opposite and I push down into the floor with my forearms so that they separate. So see if you can do that a few times, and you should feel your obliques kick on. You'll definitely feel your abs kick on, and you should surely, I hope, feel your shoulders working because they're working like crazy when you're in this pose, okay? So once you have that mastered, remember it's shoulder blades as far away from one another as possible. I'm pushing down into the ground as much as I possibly can. And then you can either keep your knees down and lift your hips up as I've done, or you can come into the full plank. So in this version of the forearm plank, it's called the mega plank. If you're doing it correctly, you could probably see, like, you should immediately start to shake and get super, super warm because we're using a ton of muscles. Instead of just hanging out on the hands in the plank, we're actually asking the shoulders to be woven into the core. We're using the core. It just up levels everything that much more. And also, if you tend to get wrist pain in planks, there's no wrists involved. So it's a lot easier to work on the strength so that you can better be in that plank position without overloading or overtaxing your wrists. So let's try that again. You come down onto your stomach. You make sure that your forearms are pushing down into the ground so there's no wrinkles in your upper back, and then you lift yourself up. And then from here, keep that stability as you shift your body forward and shift your body back. And you can use your toes here to shift forward and back and forward and back. And see if we can do this 2 more times where you come forward and then you shift back, and then last time shift forward and then you shift back. So with that exercise, because we're now moving, right, we're asking for stability while in motion, which is, again, a next layer thing. So oftentimes we try the plank, right? And then we're like, well, it hurts. I guess this is the only way to do it, and I should just do it this way, and maybe eventually it will stop hurting. When in reality, there's a bunch of different ways you can break these exercises down to make them fit your body better and to make them work for you in a way so that you can build strength without just exacerbating injuries or exacerbating compensation patterns and things like that. All right, so there was a release we call a mobilization for your plank, and actually 2 exercises to work on your stronger plank. So what about the plank itself? So when you come into a plank, the first fix here really is that you need to use the strongest strong hand you possibly can. So instead of, that gives you a better view, instead of letting your palm be totally flat so that you're kind of collapsing into the wrist, I want you to think of pressing all 5 of your fingers into the ground. Sort of like you're trying to make a little cup here for some teeny tiny blueberries or something like that, okay? So then when you come into the plank, right? Remember what we just did in the mega plank where you had your shoulder blades as far away from one another as possible. You want that to happen. You're pressing down into the ground through all of your fingertips so that you're not collapsing into the wrist, right? It's almost as if you're trying to pick this part of your hand up off the ground just by the strength of your hands. And now when you come into your plank, you have so much more activation through the hands, through the forearms, through your core, through your shoulders, that everybody is helping you to do a better plank rather than just relying on your forearms. If you want more of this and you want to learn more of how to break movement down so that you can get stronger, more flexible, and injury-proof your body, then come on over and join me for the Move Smart series. It's happening soon. You are invited. It is totally free, and the link is in my bio. I'll see you there. What do you want to see more of? Comment below and let me know. Also, make sure you give this video a thumbs up so that more people can find it, and definitely make sure that you hit that subscribe button so that you'll get notified every time I put out a new video.